This is Worcestershire County Council, run by Reform, and in charge is Reform Councillor Joe Monk. We're going to a meeting now where Monk and Reform's governance basically is being torn to shreds.
We're now saying that we're not going to do the accessibility issues to address in Bromsgrove. I have major concerns about this, particularly with the building of 1,780 homes. And you have some of your backbenchers that are very vocal about these houses and they shouldn't be built there.
This is Tory councillor Karen May addressing Monk about the various issues concerning Reform leadership, with Doge, cuts and lack of plans being cited. This was the same meeting where May was threatened with a warning. She's followed by Tory councillor Adrian Hardman, who continues the theme of poor leadership, pointing out the fact that no information has been presented with how Reform will reform budgets.
I will be very vocal now around the fact that you are cutting our accessibility to that station. Can I ask you a question, please? You talk a lot about cuts. I don't get a feeling there's a vision. What's your plan for Worcestershire? You owe it to the 610,000 residents to come up with a plan that enables them to have better outcomes in their lives. And I'm not feeling it, I'm not seeing it, I see no evidence. And you've been here now for 5 months. And I see no evidence to any plan making other than it's cut, cut, cut. And you bring Doge in, and you have the audacity to talk to us and point fingers about spending money when you spend £140 on a lunch. It's not even the cost of the lunch, it's the principle. It is the principle. We faced massive challenges in the last administration with national insurance, increasing national wage costs. I think I'm sick of hearing a retrospective view now, and I want some positive actions. You talk about working together for the right outcomes. We're all up for that. And I think it's wrong. If the Nolan principles,
Councillor May, I will ask you and put you on a first warning, please.
That's fine. Put me on a first warning, because my residents will turn around and say, with the cuts we're facing, do it.
Almost to build on Councillor May's comments. At the moment, I do feel as though we're engaged slightly in the search and sweep show here, because what you're doing is you're waving a string of sausages above the Punch and Judy pulpit, which is the capital programme, where, of course, the real problem is sweep down below, which is revenue issues. The revenue budget is under tremendous pressure. And as yet, I see no sign of how you are going to reform the revenue budget. I see no sign of a new corporate plan, which I would have expected to be able to reform and get spending under control. That's what you campaigned on. You know, there was an enormous amount of waste here. There was an enormous amount of incompetence from the officers, which I would personally have disagreed with. And certainly locally, you gave the impression that it would be easy to freeze the council tax. Well, I'm afraid to say, I don't see any of that coming to fruition. And certainly what you are not doing is talking to the people of Worcestershire.
Click here for a bunch of rotten, dumb and bigoted Reform councillors who haven't got a clue how to run a council.